All right. Hello, everyone. It's time for our webinar. Welcome and thank you for joining us live today for Stream's Engage and Elevate episode of this webinar. And thanks for those who are tuning into the recording later. I'm Emily Roberts, the Senior Content Strategist here at Stream. And if you're unfamiliar with Stream, we help developers launch apps faster using our modern SDKs, which provide all the building blocks you need to create reliable, performant, and feature-rich real-time experiences within your app. Brands including Strava, Nextdoor, Adobe, SoundCloud, and Match Group trust Stream to power their in-app chat, feeds, and video functionalities. Today's topic is undoubtedly at the forefront of every industry leader's mind, the dynamic fusion of AI, content, and SEO. It's reshaping the way businesses across all sectors approach digital presence and growth strategies. That's why I'm thrilled to have today's guest join us, as he is truly a powerhouse in this field. He has developed content frameworks and SEO hacks that have successfully helped companies in over 100 countries scale 10x. He is currently the co-founder and Chief Growth Officer of SEOWind, a company on a mission to help even more brands accelerate their growth through high-ranking content produced in part by AI. He has experienced this full spectrum of startup life, from the lows to the highs, and we are so lucky to have him here today to reflect on those learnings, as well as share his valuable insight into the future of content and AI. Let's give a warm welcome to Tom Winter.
Hi, Emily. Thank you for the invite, and thank you, Stream, for having an opportunity to talk here and share with you the knowledge that you maybe will be able to implement the next day. So hopefully I'll give you as much knowledge from my side as possible.
Awesome. And so, as Tom mentioned, he'll guide us through a few strategies to help you increase organic traffic with AI and techniques to optimize your content creation process. But first, let's start with a little background, Tom. Can you share with us about how your journey in SEO led you to co-found SEOWind and what inspired your focus on integrating AI into content strategies?
So first of all, to give you a little bit of background about me, like I'm a half a programmer, half a marketer, half a founder. And definitely I'm a serial founder because I started with creating an agency, marketing agency, where I developed a lot of content marketing strategies. At some point, like over a decade ago, some friends came to us, like to the agency, and said, like, join us at a startup, like a SaaS startup, that creates a tool to test developer skills. So we created a tool together and we scaled it to customers in over 100 countries. But we went through the whole process of creating articles, which was tedious and it was repetitive. Like every single time we had to go through the same process. And when we were trying to simplify it, speed it up, we saw that we were reducing the quality every single time. So we felt like we have to fix it. So at this point, I'm creating SEOWind, which started with creating briefs using AI to help you out, to guide you through the data. But then we saw that creating briefs for humans is no different than creating briefs and prompting AI, because if you have the data, the article writing is kind of a cherry on the top. It's like 20% of the whole task that you have to do. Like the main part is to do the foundation. And that's like how SEOWind was born and how we were developing more and more using AI, because it's really a brilliant technology. Although I'm like a programmer myself, I really like to use different kinds of programming skills. And also like I'm learning with AI how to use it, but you can't use it everywhere.
And so, for those tuning in who are not developers, who do not have an engineering background, can you explain briefly how AI is transforming the landscape of content creation and SEO from a technical point of view? Just as you mentioned, writing a brief is essentially the same for a human as it is AI.
So AI helps us to make decisions. I always treat AI as a logical engine and not a search engine. Of course, we have Perplexity, which is technically an AI search engine, which works really well. But most of the technologies that we see, like ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, they're like logical engines from my perspective. So they help you to get the best possible outcomes or actually predict the next best word, but this is it. But if you feed it with knowledge, all of a sudden, it becomes a lot better. So we can see that AI in the SEO landscape, one thing is to help with AI writing. The other thing is to help you with making decisions, what to do and where to do, if you feed it with data. So you can actually feed it with analytics data and help you define what are the best next topics to write, because these are already working for you. So like, where are the gaps if you provide it with knowledge? And there's plenty of tasks that you can do. But what I'm trying to show people, and so they understand it, treat AI as you would treat a human. So you have to deliver the context. And so it understands, it will not read your mind. It doesn't have access to everything. Uh, if you do it, then all of the tasks that are tedious and you don't want to do in SEO,
Mm-hmm.
in content writing, actually AI can help you out to boost this. So I think AI will help out a lot in the future. Although right now still it's crawling, like it's in an early stage.
Mm-hmm. And what are some misconceptions about AI? Obviously, some people think, oh, it is a mind reader. It will know what I'm thinking just based off of a few keywords I give it. And then it gives them a response that isn't what they're looking for. So, what would you say are the most common misconceptions about AI content creation that maybe people who are content creators themselves have about it?
So first misconception that I can see, and that's also like the biggest problem that I can see with AI, it always answers. And this is
Mm-hmm.
actually a problem because it will answer even though that it will not know the answer. If you, for
Mm-hmm.
example, ask for specific keywords, it will give you keywords for your article, but these are not keywords. Like they don't have access to API. They
Mm-hmm.
often like answer with a logical answer, but they don't have access to data. So this is like the biggest problem and misconception about AI, uh, that there is. Like often people ask to scrape content from a page and it actually gives you an answer, but it never went to the page. So it's kind
Mm-hmm.
of like going there blindfolded, but like it doesn't tell you that it didn't see the page. So this is really a problem. Another one that I can see is that people expect AI to be perfect. It's not. Like just
Mm-hmm.
mind that it's not. It's not binary. I've talked with probably over 400 people in the last half a year, asking them how they use AI. And I saw that there is a tendency to seeing it binary. Either it's really bad, it's a 0, or it's perfect and it's a 1. So like if it's not perfect, I'm not using it because I don't think it's good for me.
Mm-hmm.
I see it a little bit different. Like for me, there is a lot of gray area in between because I'm a data person. So if I can see that my process is sped up, like, and I can improve the quality, I can improve the speed or whatever, for me, that's a important, significant improvement that I want to go with.
Mm-hmm.
So if something that is produced by AI is not perfect, okay, I understand. If I can make it better and speed up my process, that's a win.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a big, another misconception that I can see. It's not black or white. The third
Yeah.
thing, yeah, go on.
Oh, I was going to just dive a little bit deeper into what you're saying there because I think maybe some people who are self-serving themselves with AI content, they're using it as is instead of looking at it as you're describing as assisting with accelerating your strategy, getting through that outline process faster, getting more information at a faster rate. Instead of asking it for a blog that targets this keyword, it doesn't have access to those tools that it can look to see how it will rank. And then they get a piece of content that doesn't rank. So you're saying use it as a tool in your arsenal of content creation tools instead of go there to create content.
Improve your process. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
not an overnight process. Like you can use a lot of tools that will significantly improve your process and help you to work with it. It's really hard to do it in the chat view of ChatGPT,
Right.
because like you have to deliver a lot of context, and delivering context is hard. I will probably
It's
talk about it a
work.
little bit
Yeah.
later. It is
Mm-hmm.
work. It is definitely it's work, but improve your process like slowly, step by step. If every day you can make an increase by 1%, at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
year, that will be a huge improvement, like really
Mm-hmm.
a huge one. So like think about it in iterations, like make it better and better. So the first misconception that I can see, and people are quitting using AI because of that, is that if they don't get the perfect answer the first time, they say like, nope, it doesn't work for me. Actually, I'll tell you, it's your fault that you didn't get the answer. in the perfect way. So if you don't see that you're getting the answer, that means that you probably didn't ask it the right way. So think about it from a different perspective. If AI would be a human, like, so just don't think that you're talking to a computer, but you're talking to your colleague, what kind of information you would have to deliver to this person to give you a perfect answer? And this is how I treat AI. So if I get a wrong answer, that means, okay, Tom, like, stop, think about what you wrote. Maybe there is another way to ask for it, like in a different way, because maybe what you're telling AI is not logical enough, or it's not like explained in the proper way, or I didn't deliver the proper context that it should have to give me the answer to actually get it perfect. I'm doing it again in iteration, making it better and better every single time. Like, and I'm testing it really heavily. Sometimes to get a perfect answer, like I'm having, I don't know, 200 iterations of the same
Oh,
thing.
wow. And I imagine, we talked about how that takes work to provide context because now instead of briefing an outline, you're kind of briefing the prompt that you serve to whatever AI interface you're using. So, can you talk about the key challenges businesses face when they start implementing AI strategies? I know we covered they want to look for the right answer. If it's not perfect, they say, hey, this might not be for us. Let's just stick with the traditional route of content creation. What are the other challenges to overcome? Maybe some, if we go back to that misconception theme about ranking, if it seems generic, if it seems spammy, what are some challenges people might see when implementing AI content strategies?
So the first thing, as you mentioned, is actually getting the right data. So again, when you're writing a content, think of it from the perspective, if you're talking to a human. I really love to actually explain everything with AI if we would actually be working with another colleague, because this is how I treat AI. If we would be working with a colleague, like, or and researching a topic, like we're a content marketing team, like doing a topic. So we have, often it's one person, but like we have a role of content researcher. We have a role of an SEO expert, content writer, and a proofreader. Probably there can be additional roles. It's often one person, but either way, like these are separate roles or separate steps that you have to go through.
Mhm.
And if you don't fulfill like with the research, then combine it with the content writer, the SEO expert, and everything else, you will miss the context and the search intent of the article.
Mhm.
So think about it in the same way. It's a process. So you will not get it with one prompt. Like if you're just asking AI, write me an outline for this keyword, write me an article based on this keyword, and optimize it with SEO, it will not work. Like, so we're
Right.
doing it multiple steps, like dividing the whole process into multiple steps, like something that is digestible for AI to go through. And to
Mhm.
do it, like you really have to gather the knowledge. You have, I don't know, 200 pages of knowledge because you go to the SERP results, like you check what your competition writes. So you have to open up like 10 tabs with your competition just to read it through to see how they nail
Right.
the search intent. You go to SEMrush, you check out what kind of keywords they rank for. You take it all, then you create your own outline. Based on your outline, you're matching it with keywords. You're thinking about like what keywords can I use in this specific article, or where should I focus on to nail the search intent. Then you're probably going to your colleagues in your company to ask the product team, do you have something to add to this topic? You're going to a
Mhm.
CMO to ask, like, what do you think our customers think about? Like maybe you talk to a customer because you have experience. You're gathering this knowledge and putting it all together. When you're writing the article, then you're optimizing it for SEO again, probably, and then proofreading. And think about it from the same perspective. Don't expect AI to deliver it like just like that, with one prompt,
Mhm.
with one single line. So if you think about it this way, then you will be a lot better in what you're doing. So this is like one of the key problems that I see when you're implementing, that all of a sudden, even though that you're used to a specific process when you're using humans, you want to change it and then you want to switch it to a different process, totally different process when you're using AI. It will
Mhm.
not work, in my opinion.
Yeah, so the temptation to completely replace manual work with a ChatGPT, a Claude, a Gemini, it's more about combining the efforts of what you're doing already to teach it in a sense. And so I had a more tactical question. If someone is looking to implement an AI strategy, do they need the paid version of whatever tool they're going to be using so that it can essentially learn and continue retaining that knowledge that you feed into it about your particular site and content? Or can someone just go to the free version of something and leverage it pretty much the same?
You can try using like free versions, but to be honest, I would recommend to at least try to either go with Claude, which is my favorite at the moment, or
Okay.
ChatGPT. It doesn't cost like much, like it's probably around $20 per month.
Mm-hmm.
But it's worth to get access to the newest models. But still, the key is how you work with it. Not
Mm-hmm.
AI is just a tool. Like it will work. If you get the best bicycle in the world, it doesn't mean that you will win Tour de France.
Right.
Uh,
That's a great
it,
analogy.
it doesn't work this way. So like you have to know how to work with it. But there is another problem that I see probably in the future is that the biggest advantage is like the greatest thing about like how we see AI right now through chat is it's also the biggest problem in the future for the growth of it. Like it's the limitation that I see in the AI because we think we're just like chatting with something. It's a little bit more than that. Like in the future, in my opinion, there'll be plenty of tools that have AI underneath, and you will
Mm-hmm.
not even see that there is AI.
Mm-hmm.
Like it will not be in the form of chat. They will be specialized tools that do specific things, specific tasks, and it doesn't matter like in what kind of niche. It doesn't have to be marketing. They will be a specialized tools that use AI underneath.
Mm-hmm. Just like for stream moderation. So that's not at the surface of chat. It's not a chat bot, but it can make things easier for trust and safety teams who are moderating a high volume of content, whether it's user generated content or through an activity feed or something like that. It's something that's accelerating a workflow. So I think that's kind of the theme that I'm understanding here. And so
Perfect. Yeah.
when someone works with SEOWind, what can they expect to learn from your agency? How do you support different brands in their content strategy development?
So first of all, we help them with research. For us, like research part is like 80% of the whole process of writing the article and we do it on multiple levels. So the things that you don't see is, and it's under the hood, is that we're working kind of like a marketing team. We have multiple agents doing like separate tasks underneath, and there's like really probably around 30, 40 tasks to do to finish up like with the brief. So these agents actually work on different things like to match keywords with search intent, with additional knowledge that we source from different places. And also what we expect is to share additional thoughts like what do you think about what is your experience about this specific piece of content that we're writing. So like it's not only about nailing the search intent and taking information from the internet. We want to also get the information from the company that is writing the content because we feel it's valuable. I'm a big
Mm-hmm.
fan of something that I call cyber method. So humans working with AI together, not against
Mm-hmm.
each other, because we both have superpowers. AI
Mm-hmm.
has superpowers, we have superpowers. AI is great with research, with going through like a lot of data. But what it lacks at the moment, at least, it lacks experience. So you as a human, you talk to your product team, you talk to customers, you know a lot of things, how your customers are using your product, and AI doesn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
And you are actually helpful with adding this knowledge and adding this expertise to the article. So what we do at SEOWind, we try to combine it all together. And when we're writing the article, so we're doing this final step, we're telling AI, look, AI, in this piece, this is the search intent, this is your brand voice, this is what our special matter expert said about this specific part of the article. These are additional statistics and quotes that you can actually use for this part, and so on and so forth. Like in this way, we're writing piece by piece the whole article,
Mm-hmm.
delivering the knowledge, reducing the hallucination of AI, and not creating fluff. Because if you
Mm-hmm.
deliver the knowledge, all of a sudden, like the content becomes valuable, exactly what Google wants. But to do it, for every 3,000 words that we write, we deliver like 15,000 words in the final prompts.
Right.
So it's like 5 times more than we
Yep.
get out. So just think about it from the perspective of ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you know exactly how we do it, like piece by piece. If I would have to choose between writing like the instruction that is like 15,000 words, or I would write like the article from scratch, like manually, I'm going for writing the article. Like really,
Yeah.
I'm not even trying to do like the knowledge, because putting it all together, that will take me like probably twice or 3 times more time than writing the article from scratch.
That's a really great point. And something that you mentioned there, just about making sure the content is educational, informative, that it doesn't sound like fluff or spam. We have a question here in our Q&A, and it says, how do you balance AI-driven content with the creative input of human writers to ensure that it is engaging and authentic? Is it just simply that research piece to make sure that what it's producing from your prompt is good enough, and then you tweak it until it's perfect?
So definitely it goes for iteration, even though that, like if I write the whole article, getting the input from the content writer and from like a special matter expert, I feel that still the content is like 80, 90% ready. We can still give more value. So what we can see in the last Google's updates, what blew up is basically Reddit, Quora. They really
Hmm.
got a lot of additional traffic. Why? Because there's plenty of opinions there. There is the expertise, like people wants to see it, and actually Google wants to see it, and I agree with him. Like it would be nice to nail the search intent, focus on that 60-70% of the article, but then add your opinions on top, add something that is valuable, add something that is different, add your brand voice. Don't write it in the same tone that ChatGPT writes. Like if you
Right.
define it all, you're able to create something that is valuable, not fluff.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, if you're using ChatGPT in a simple way, you will create fluff and empty content that is not even indexed, which is a problem because people feel that AI content is empty, so it doesn't work, and Google wants to de-index all AI content.
Hmm.
No, they don't. They don't. They do want to like de-index spam, and if you're creating fluff, that's spam. That's the
Hmm.
definition of spam. So most AI content, it is spam. It's de-indexed.
Hmm. And so, if we were to give the people watching today one tip or a few tactical tips of how they can start implementing AI and start leveraging these tools with the paid account, what would you suggest to them to start to see a lift in their content strategy? Say someone's struggling with, a lean team. They want to introduce AI to accelerate their workflow. What are the three things you would tell them to do?
So if you're using ChatGPT, so like the simplest and cheapest way, then think about your process in steps. Like, so divide it into steps, like, and think how you can provide AI with the knowledge that it needs to make decisions. So again, think about it as you would talk to a friend, colleague at work, and how would you brainstorm it, or how I call it chat storm,
Hmm.
with the chat to understand the topic. This is the first thing. The second thing, don't be afraid to make mistakes. If you don't get the result at the first try, try again and write down
Hmm.
the things that work. Because if you don't write them down, then you will start over and over again every single time, and it will not scale. Like that
Hmm.
doesn't work. And if you feel that it doesn't work because it's just too labor intense, I think like you should look for a specialized tool that will
Hmm.
help you to go through this process a lot easier. And find something that works and is a fit to your process. The most important part, you have to feel good with the tool that you're using. Because if you will not feel good, you will not use the tool. And how I say it, a fool with a tool is still a fool. So if you're not using a tool, it can be the best tool in the world, and
Hmm.
still it will not bring you a dime.
That is really, really good advice. That actually covers one of these Q&As that we just got. We have one more that we haven't touched on. How do you see AI impacting the future job market for content creators? And what skills should aspiring content professionals focus on to remain relevant?
So from my perspective, I can see that a lot of people, especially on LinkedIn, how I see it, are trying to fight AI, saying that AI is not there, it's empty, it doesn't deliver the things. Most of AI that they see, probably it is, and they're right. But I
Hmm.
don't think it's the future. So instead of fighting it, I think try to join it in a way and think about how you can leverage your skills to deliver better quality. Because unfortunately, if you don't, I don't think there will be a job for you. That's my opinion. Sorry for saying it out loud. Because like it will just take over like the things that you're doing. But I do feel that all of us, we have superpowers, as I said. We can actually add value on top. Like just think about it, where you can add the value, how you can use AI to be better, how you can be 10x person
Hmm.
that delivers a lot more to the company that you're working with. Uh, by just becoming a superhero, like because AI can help you out to boost your skills, boost your performance.
I love that. I love that positive take on it and how you still have something as a as a human content creator to add to something that's so much more or fast at retaining information, processing it. And then so let's end on a forward-thinking note. What excites you the most about AI, and especially as it relates to content, as we look into the future in either short term, like the next 3 to 5 years, or long term? What excites you the most?
So I can see, like, I'm learning every single day what AI is and what AI isn't. And to be honest, like, it exceeds my expectations, like, every single week. Uh, I hope that we will learn to use it more and more. Right now, like, I'm really excited to learn how it can help me to brainstorm on specific things, to reverse engineer specific things that I see, but like I need to add data. So the thing that really excites me is the future where a lot of AI agents, like in different niches, will help us out with improving the processes that we're in. Like it doesn't have to be again content. Like for me, medicine is the
Hmm.
go-to. I would love to go to an AI doctor. I know that people will hate me for that and say like, no, like I would never ask, like never trust AI with my own health. I would. I think
Hmm.
it's really good, and I think there will be a lot of specialized tools. Like so, last year was the year of ChatGPT and like the chat way of thinking. I think we will go past that. There will be a lot more specialized tools that will deliver the things that we need a lot faster in a seamless way that we will not even notice that there's a AI underneath.
Hmm. Yeah, that is super exciting. I actually just saw a news story on including AI in medicine, and I think it's a really great way to look at it. And especially as we were talking about content, people still have a valuable skill to add atop all of the different AI tools. Like we'll still be there and still needed, but it's just there to support us like any other tool. Well, that was so great. Thank you so much for your insight, Tom. If people want to follow along with your content and learn more about the topics that you specialize in, where can they find you online?
So first of all, find me on LinkedIn. Find Tom Winter on LinkedIn. I'm living there basically. I love to
Okay.
share my knowledge, and if you want to ask me anything, like just let's connect. Send me an email. Send me a message on LinkedIn, and I'll be always happy to answer. So don't be afraid. I always like to answer people, and if you would like to talk, let's find time and let's talk.
Awesome. Well, that is so great. What a perfect note to end on. Again, thank you so much to Tom Winter from SEOWind for our conversation today. It's been wonderful having you, and I hope that we will see you again soon.
Thanks a lot, Emily, and thank you for hosting this great podcast.
Of
Cheers.
course. Cheers. Have a good one.